All right, quick lesson on weapon tuning. But first, okay, let's jump in and build this incredibly flat shooting Lachmann that still hits pretty hard. Yes, there are harder hitting weapons, but let's get in here, add the Cronin Mini Pro for the optic over to barrel. I'm already starting to think about what attachments I want and what I want those attachments to affect, whether it's damage, recoil control. That's our focus on this specific build, is recoil control. So let's add this F-Tac M sub 12 inch. Then we're going to jump over to muzzle. And again, I'm looking at all these muzzles. I'm looking at damage. I'm looking at recoil control. I'm also keeping an eye on mobility and handling. This isn't necessarily a speed class, but this is a pretty mobile weapon the way it is. But with how our tuning is going to affect these attachments, we're going to help those two fields anyway. So we're going to help mobility and handling with our tuning. So let's add... Let's do the Bruin. Let's put the Bruin pendulum on here. Look what it does for recoil control. Already helps that immensely. And we're going to tune that later also. Underbarrel, again, I'm looking at what underbarrel attachments and what they're affecting. They're affecting recoil control and accuracy, mobility and handling. They're not really going to affect damage at all. And with our tuning, it's going to help immensely also. So let's see, accuracy. And this Bruin Warrior, man, I think this Bruin Warrior grip is kind of getting slept on a little bit. A lot of people like these shark fins and the F-Tac Tiger and the F-Tac Ripper. But look what the Bruin does for recoil control and accuracy and mobility. So let's put a stock on here that's going to help, again, with accuracy and recoil control. The factory stock, I think, is the best option here, but unfortunately we can't tune it. But we can tune, what's that one? The Mir Recoil 56 factory stock. Helps with accuracy a little bit, and mobility and handling are good, and we can still tune this. So we're going to add this stock on here. Get that selected. And then let's move on to tuning. So we have all 5 attachments on here. So we look at our left axis here. So we have all the way up as flinch resistance, all the way down as aim down sight speed, or close and far range. So to tune this sight, we're going to go a little bit more towards the aim down sight speed. We want super fast ADS, and we want to be able to lock onto that target and stay locked on without having to strafe around too much. So that's what we're going to do for the tuning on the optic. We're going to jump back in and make sure that didn't change. That's what we're doing. All right, so let's tune this stock. Aim walking steadiness, or aim down sight speed, all the way down towards aim down sight speed, and aim walking speed. We want to be super mobile when we're aiming down sights, so we want to snap our sights up super quick, and we also want to be able to move quick while we're aiming down our sights. So tuning this barrel, we can go all the way towards recoil steadiness or all the way towards aim walking speed. Again, this isn't a speed class, it's mainly meant for recoil control. So on our left axis, we are going to go more towards aim walking speed because it was already helping our recoil steadiness. But now we're going to bump it back towards recoil steadiness because that's the focus of this build. So we're going to add a little bit of recoil stability. We're going to add a little bit of recoil control. You can see that left axis moving. So 0.2 on recoil steadiness, and I want aim down sight speed to also be quick. Neither of these are affecting damage, so that's what we're going to settle with on aim down sight speed and recoil control. So now we're going to jump over to the muzzle. So now we are going to tune the left axis a little bit more towards aim down sight speed or recoil stabilization. Again, our focus on this build is to control the recoil, to have super flat shooting. Right now we have 0.1 towards recoil stabilization. Now we're hovering at 0.22, trying to figure out my perfect marriage between the two here. So we're going to go 0.16 on recoil stability and what's that, 3.5 on, I can't read it under my voice recording, but that was the tuning on that. So now let's tune this grip. Let's jump in and tune it. Hip walking speed or hip recoil control. I don't shoot enough from the hip to control hip recoil. I don't really need to affect that field at all. So I'm going to go a little bit more towards hip walking speed to gain a little bit more movement speed when I'm just sprinting around the map. So aim down sight speed all the way to the left. 0.4 on aim down sight speed. Again, we want to snap those sights up super quick, and we want to stay locked onto that target. So that is all of the tuning on all of these attachments. So now this thing is going to be incredibly flat shooting. Look at recoil control. That is almost completely maxed out. Got to throw gold on it. We got it, so let's put that on there. And then we're even going to jump into the firing range to show you how flat shooting this thing is. Okay, so these first few shots, I am not touching the right stick at all to try to help with the recoil. Putting the sights on and hitting the trigger. Left trigger, right trigger. Not doing anything to help control recoil. Medium range. Look at that. Look how flat shooting this thing is. Long range, it's not the longest range weapon that's out there. Obviously, this is a submachine gun that's 9mm. But it's still, there's no kick in this thing. So now let's try to help. Let's strafe around, use that right stick, use the left stick to help with recoil control. And look what this does. Medium, and short, and long range. Look at this build, boys. Look at this build. Love it. Love it.